In 26 ABY, the Yuuzhan Vong had secured a series of military victories against the New Republic and were now setting their sights on the galaxy's most steadfast defenders, the Jedi. Naturally, this led the extragalactic aliens to Luke's Jedi Praxium on Yavin 4. They would launch a devastating ground assault, destroying the Jedi Academy, something I've covered in a prior video. Before this happened, however, Anakin, youngest of the Solo children and 14 years old at the time, foresaw the invasion and stole an X-Wing to warn the Jedi on Yavin. Upon arriving, he encountered his best friend Tahiri, who had studied with him as a child at the Academy and, alongside Anakin, starred in the Junior Jedi Knight's Young Reader books. As the Vong attack, Tahiri and Anakin discover that the bond they established as children has continued to grow and has now taken on a romantic flavor. What's more, they are an incredible fighting force and together manage to defend the Academy long enough for many Jedi to escape. However, as they attempt to flee, Jedi Master Ickarit, also of the Junior Jedi Knights books, is killed, Anakin's ship is shot down, and Tahiri is captured by the Vong. Now stranded and alone, Anakin is forced to attempt to make his way across the planet to rescue her. Running on little sleep and energy, he has a very disturbing vision, which I'll share now with some slight edits. Darkness wrapped around Anakin like a cloak and whispered to him like a mother. It promised him a face of Durasteel and a heart of Ferrocrete. It offered him supernovas of power and the unflinching will to use it. He had been to this place before, often. It was his oldest dream, perhaps dreamed for the first time when the clone of Emperor Palpatine touched him through his mother's womb. And when he learned about his namesake, his grandfather Vader, the dreams grew stronger, more detailed. He saw futures in which he was grown, his blue eyes gone gray as hull plating. Soft laughter began, familiar yet strange. The pitch and timbre were wrong, but the cadence was as known to him as his father's speech. A woman's laughter, throaty and sardonic. It made the hair on his neck prickle up. He turned and saw her. Her hair was gold, the gold of a vein in a sunset on Coruscant, or the sudden spark from an inferno. One of her eyes was jade and the other obsidian. Her lips were fringed by 100 incisions, and a white scar ran from the top of her forehead to her chin. Armor of a black and gray substance fit close to her body, a very adult, very human body, though the armor was plated and jointed like an insect. Knobs and spurs stuck out from her shoulders and elbows. She smiled at him through those split lips and held up something baton-shaped, which flexed in her grip like a sluggish pupa. Darkside energy crackled around her, calling to him, and he felt a sudden terrible attraction to her, every part of him yearning for her in a way he had never begun to feel before. She grinned more widely and laughed again, and with sudden understanding, Anakin realized that she wasn't looking at him at all, but at someone else in the vision, someone Anakin couldn't see. "The last of your kind," the woman said, her voice made whispery by what she had done to her mouth. "The last of my kind." And she raised the blade, and Anakin recognized her. "Tahiri!" he shrieked. She paused as if she might have heard something very far away. Then she came forward, sweeping the weapon down, and Anakin choked on the look in her eye, the mixture of glee and despair, joy and sickness. So, just to break things down, in Anakin's vision, he is seeing Tahiri in the future not only fall into the dark side, but also shaped by the Yuuzhan Vong, which explains her scarred eye, mouth, and the armor she's wearing. And unfortunately, this actually somewhat foretells the future, as the Vong were attempting, as he had that vision, to shape Tahiri into a Vong Jedi hybrid. She was tortured brutally, implanted with Vong biotics, and given false memories, and even a Vong persona. Although Anakin did manage to rescue her before the shaping was complete, she would remain mentally and physically scarred due to the invasive Vong procedures performed on her. She also developed the ability to understand Vong language and technology, which was useful but also disturbing. During the escape, Anakin and Tahiri continue to fall for each other and share their first kiss. However, Tahiri saw herself as tainted, and the two struggled with the dark trauma she suffered at such a vulnerable age. Also tainting things is that Anakin realized how he was feeling about Tahiri upon seeing her in an adult, dark form. Not long after this, Tahiri would see Anakin die in combat during the Jedi mission to Merkur, and her life would continue down a dark path. Not only would she struggle with the grief of losing her best friend and new love, as well as the pain of the continued Vong presence within her mind and body, during the Second Galactic Civil War, she would fall to the dark side, serving as the apprentice to a Sith-aligned Yuuzhan Solo. However, the vision is disturbing not only because it predicts the future in a sort of abstract way, but because it takes something very innocent, two young people falling in love, and corrupts it. Anakin's love is made somewhat adult and perverse, and all elements of innocence and lightheartedness is removed from the relationship and Tahiri's life generally. And speaking of corruption of innocence, the events of Edge of Victory are also a very dark conclusion in a way to the Junior Jedi Knights and Young Jedi Knights series, which heavily feature characters and locations destroyed during the Vong invasion, specifically during this novel. But what do you think? Am I overstating things? Is there a more disturbing vision in Star Wars Legends? What do you think of the imagery and what does it represent? Let me know all of that and more down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, this has been EckhartsLadder. May the Force be with you.